I'm joined by Stephen Howson. Manchester United 1, Watford 4. Just what do you make of that?
I don't know. I don't know how he's still in a job, mate. Because you can analyse every single goal, every single mistake, and you can say, well, maybe he should have got tighter to him, maybe he should have got tighter to him. We lost 5 in 7. Yeah. That's the bigger picture. We're slipping down the league. We're now like a point above Crystal Palace. Yeah. You know, you look at that 11 or the squad available to us, okay, we didn't have Varane. Might have made a bit of a difference, but really? Are we really doing that? You look at United's squad and you go, it's capable of beating every team in the league, I think.
Beating every team in the league.
Midfield is not as strong as some. It's certainly probably the weakness that we have in our team, but it's still good enough to not lose 4-1 to Watford, isn't it? Mm. And ultimately, I think, we said it in the Brew on Friday, when you give everyone 8 days off over the international break, and you almost had an 11 that was left behind as well, because they're playing shit. Yeah, they weren't selected for their country. Because you've got that many players to work with, that's enough to start maybe implementing something. I said a few weeks ago, Juventus have started going into like this camp when things go wrong. They've got apartments at the training ground, and they say, we ain't leaving until we've figured it out. Mm. Where was the figuring it out? At times, United have been overworked and have looked tired. Do you think they look tired at the moment? I'm not sure it's tiredness. It's pure not playing well and not following instruction, I assume, or the instructions aren't good enough. So for me as a coaching staff, I think they needed to use that time to get on the training ground and go, right, time for some experimentation. Let's look at what a 3 at the back does. Get the under-21s in. I know clubs do this on a regular basis where they'll get like... Manchester United probably get like a League One team in on a Tuesday. Come in and play us. A bit of a training game. Behind closed doors, no one knows about it. Sorted. You know, just have a team that would relish the idea of stepping up to play against United. Give you a good go, at least physically. And then it allows you to sort of test out your little plans. Bring them in. Out of the 3 at the back work, we got fucking twatted off Macclesfield. All right, Sam, let's not do that. Let's try another thing. But like, work through them. You'll use those 8 days. Everybody else in the squad's going playing internationals. Use this to go, okay, what's the major problems? Playing out, patterns playing the final third, how to roll the ball through the midfield free or through the middle third. These are the major issues United have got at the moment. Let's look at systems that might alleviate that. What's the strengths and weaknesses of them? If we do this, does that leave us weak at the back? Does it mean we're weaker at the front? Whatever it is that we need to do, experiment and fix it. Don't just say, why don't you fuck off to Dubai for a week and let's hope it's all better when you come back, because honestly, what the fuck is that?
I mean, it's not going to help the players, is it? But do you think there's part of it where we're already too far gone? And obviously that shouldn't be the way the coaching staff are thinking. I'm sure they weren't thinking that. But like you said, this is, was it the 5th loss in 7 games? The 4 that came before that, they hadn't just had a rest. Like, obviously they haven't done anything that's fixed it and turned it around, but everyone who's watching at the moment, as much as, you know, any of us who've been criticised in the past for defending the manager, defending the coaching staff, defending everyone for too long or longer than most, everyone who's watching can see this isn't working and it's not going to work. We're watching players play like it's the final days of the manager. We've seen enough managers sacked in our time. Do you think it is just a matter of time? Can you see him being in the dugout for that game on Tuesday against Villarreal?
Only because of sheer incompetence from the board, because I don't believe in them. And I think a stronger board that I think the only reason he's not gone is because they haven't got a plan. And I think they're scrambling to try and figure out a plan at the moment. They didn't have a plan for him. He was not the plan. The plan was probably Pochettino. The plan was, Ollie will take us to the end of the season and then we'll probably appoint Pochettino. But what happened? Pochettino got Spurs to a final. They thought everything was rosy. He's like, no, I'm going to stick here, actually, mind, thank you. And Ollie had that amazing run where they was like, well, fuck it, he's done pretty well, hasn't he? Let's give him the job. And obviously we had all the politics of all the different players, contracts coming to an end, and, you know, probably the likes of Tony Marshall who been like, hey, contract's coming to an end. Who's the fucking manager going to be? And they're like, we don't really know. He's like, well, I don't know if I'm fucking signing that contract then. Yeah. So you're like, there was loads of external factors as well as what was going on the pitch meant that Ollie ended up being given the job, but there was no plan to appoint him. It was a reactionary. We sacked Mourinho. I mean, we hired Mourinho because he was available, and maybe Louis van Gaal probably should have been given that extra time, but we saw a shiny thing. We're like, he guarantees to win stuff. No, you still have to set your club up correctly for him to go on and win things. It's not just as simple as let's appoint him and he just magically wins things. You have to give him the raw materials. If you do that, generally he does win things, or he did. Then you look at all of the other factors that are going on. There's been no successional appointments. Fucking David Moyes is appointed by Fergie, walking up to his house in May and going, "Hey, guess who's the new United manager?" He's like, "Who?" And he's like, "You, bye." And you think, what the fuck was that? Like, where was the long-term sort of, can he get some targets in? What would he do with the club? There was no presentation, no interview. It was just a case of, there's the keys, it's in a bit. That's the issue with Manchester United, is that we're not well run. We're not set up for long-term success because the fucking Glazers don't want long-term success. They want to absolutely wring every fucking quid they can out of it. That's all they're here to do. If it costs 400 million for us to have a title charge and 200 million for us to stay inside the top four, they'll be like, "There's your 200 million. I'll see you next year." Yeah. That's all they give a fuck about. They're not in it for the glory, like the fans are, like some of the other owners are. Roman Abramovich literally just wants fucking dripping in silverware. No, and his methodology about going about it probably only works for him and maybe Real Madrid to a greater or lesser degree. But the investment that he's put into that team for the last 20 years is one of the reasons that he can be like, "Nope, next, nope, next, nope, next." And it's largely successful when he does that. Most clubs cannot set up the same way that he sets up. And one that's dealing with the financial constraints United are, absolutely can't set up like that. So do I see him being in the dugout on Tuesday? Yes and no. Like I could see him going tonight, I think would be better. And I could see him going tomorrow morning. And I could see him going Monday morning. I think if he gets to Tuesday morning, he's probably in fucking charge on Tuesday night. And then he could go Tuesday night, because if we lose on Tuesday night and Atlanta win, they're going to be in the driving seat going into the final game.
Should he go tonight?
Yeah.
That's going to be all from us. Cheers, Steve, for joining us. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you aren't already. Get your thoughts in the comments below as well. And we'll see you in a bit.